How are you?
I'm doing great. How are
I'm
you?
very good, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. You're a new face for me. You
Yeah.
know, if Flora
Yeah.
pops in, awesome. But I've gotten to talk to her a lot before. It's a super treat for me.
I'm super excited to talk about some things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is the first play that you've done for Next Act, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
awesome. So, kind of just blasting on the scene. We're going to see all kinds of, I know we're going to see a lot of you. I know we're going to see a whole lot of you, right?
Please do.
Okay, I'm going to do a plug before we talk about the play, which some interesting things to talk about that play. Don't leave Milwaukee. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. No talent drain. Let's just get you hired like crazy and you're happy and you stay here. That sounds
And
good.
if I stay hired, I will stay here the closest to my mom that I can be.
That sounds like a fair deal. That is a
Right.
fair deal. Okay. So I have my pad down here. So I'm looking at a little bit more information about the play, Principal.
Hmm.
And on the surface, it's like, okay, it's about teachers and, everybody in the arts, because we're kind of preaching to the choir here. We're all like, yeah, teachers. What makes this play different? Tell me a little bit about the play, about your role.
I mean, without, of course, giving out too much,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
this play is about four teachers in an English department who all have these different philosophies who are kind of fighting to tell a story of how do we reach these children, especially children in the inner city who aren't getting as many resources,
Yeah.
and just how they go about that, and the conversations that come up about literature and education philosophies, which I think is very interesting. We
Mhm.
had a talk back last night, and our director Marty, talked about a lot about how different people. Sorry, my cat's crazy. Uh,
Photobomb by
different
the
people.
cat could be worse.
Good call. No, but different people learn different, different styles, and there's different teaching methods and how that works for each person. And you see a lot of, you know, um, I just graduated, so I've I'm fresh off the dome with, all these teachers who are trying to teach you different ways and different
Yeah.
things, and
Mhm.
how it works for one individual versus the next.
Mhm.
So I think it's very individual. I think it's very unique the way that playwright kind of wove those
Mhm.
types of topics in there
Mhm.
while just sitting in a regular English office.
Well, he was a South Side Chicago teacher.
Right.
So for
Yeah.
yeah, what a that's going to give
It,
you a unique perspective, but not so unique that it's not connected to Milwaukee because we've got some similar sort of stuff going on here.
yeah.
And yeah,
And we
yeah.
talked about that all the time. Oh, what are your teaching background, or what's your education background? And it's so crazy how I can see literally every character in some sort of teacher that I've had in the past.
Well,
With
recent too.
how,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, and I think the way he wrote it, even being, I was a teacher, it's phenomenal to hear all those different voices and
Mm.
how they kind of come out. Like Flora's characters, like this crusty old lady, and it literally says like crusty old lady, and like she just goes in and she's like super like my old arts teacher, Miss Nathan, and it's fun to watch how these characters can come alive because they are so dynamic
hmm
and real to the
hmm
character.
That's one of the cool things too about your perspective because it's so fresh. Having gone through Rufus King, right, and just graduating from Marquette, your parallels to the different styles that you just recently encountered, and through the intense last 8 years or so plus
Hmm.
however long you've been out. Nice broad spectrum of approaches. So it sounds like the kinds of different perspectives on approaches for education that you're going to run into in this play, that's pretty real. It sounds like it's pretty real that you had
Yeah,
those same experiences. So
yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Was there any particular, well, let's actually back up. So the play is about four school
English teachers.
teachers
Yeah.
and you're hanging out in the lounge and you're discovering what the conflict is and how they take their backgrounds and experiences and address it and push for the thing to accomplish. So
Right.
yeah, in a little bit of a nutshell, it's teachers. You think, all right, cool, that's cool, but there's something compelling here. There's something compelling going on. That's what I'm getting here is look beyond the surface. It's not just about a bunch of teachers and let's tune in and, we all love them and we all put them on a pedestal and they freaking deserve to be on a pedestal because I don't have kids. I couldn't do that. So.
Same.
Oh, good. But why is this different?
I think right now, and I mean, this is recent. He at all did not write this play during a pandemic.
Yeah, right.
I think it's compelling right now because we talk about whose job is the most important. And what we see come out of these teachers is, like I said, the different philosophies, especially around like standardized testing. That's kind of the focus, or not kind. That's the focus, and I think right now we're really looking in the spectacle of like, why is this position important? And I think that that's one of the central conflicts is like, what are we doing this for? Are we doing this because I need a paycheck? Am I doing this because I need to push some agenda? Or am I doing this because I really love students and I really want people to persevere? And I think like my character, Shelly, she's the latter. Like she really wants it for the children. And I think we see a lot of teachers, and even in plays that I've written, teachers that are just baseline, okay, like we love the kids, yay. It's not, it's very ingenuine. And like I said, I love this play because they all have different philosophies. And what's tricky about it is like you're sitting there and you're like, okay, but who's right? I love things like that where it's like you're kind of conflicted on, okay, you're doing something, but then you're doing something, and like that's not cool, but then that's cool. Like, and like you kind of said, it's not just about teachers in a lounge. It's really about teachers and what do they talk about and how do they talk about these kids and what do they actually feel about the education system? The education system is such a complex thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, most people don't actually sit there and think like, in order to get funding, we need test scores. What does that even mean if we can't get books? And so it's like this constant back and forth, and this play frustrates you because you never know which side to actually be on. So everybody's right in some way.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. And the stakes are high. Yeah. The stakes are high. And I think that's one of the things that gets dismissed so frequently when someone has an article or there's a play or something. It's like, it's about teachers. And they're like, oh yeah, well, unless they're in education, it's easy to dismiss. Oh, it's, it's people dealing with a bunch of kids, and what really, how important really is that? Because they don't think about it. The stakes are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. The experience and the resources that those kids are given are going to shape their whole lives.
Yeah. And that's why we talk about in a pandemic right now, who's important. That's so
who's important. Yeah.
Who's important. And the teachers are really getting a bad rap during this time. And it's like, we've realized, okay, there are some things in this world, this capitalist society, that we could do without and that we could work without. And we've really had to realize, like, what are we going to do with all these kids at home all day? And it's crazy because people don't realize, like, teachers are dealing with your kids all day, but they're dealing with 30 of them. And they're under-resourced. And again, so many things that come out in this play that are just little hints of, like, what teachers have to go through. I have to constantly call parents because this kid, and, they go home and you just ship them back. And it's just like a transaction, and we're not really thinking about the child and what is going to be best for the child. And I feel like I'm speaking literally like my character right now, but like, what is best for the child? And I've been blessed to have education that is wonderful, and like parents who really could get me in those places. But it's very unfortunate because, everybody deserves an education and they deserve to, my friend said something that was so profound to me one day. And she's like, why do I deserve this education? But the kid down the street doesn't, because they can't afford
Right.
it.
Right.
Who is to say that this education is on a pedestal? And I just think this play just rings so loud to, the fact that everybody deserves an education that best suits them and that will help them in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, these inequities too set every human being that goes through the education system up with certain expectations, which is that if you are privileged, you will get the vaccine before everybody else.
Exactly.
Even if you're not a healthcare worker, it doesn't matter. It's because you're rich. But we just assume that that's going to happen because that's how we are indoctrinated as we grow up. That there are inequities and that's the way they are. And fighting something like that is subversive. So it's deceptively subversive.
Yeah.
So
I had not even thought about that. Wow.
It totally sets you,
Right.
it's the prime example of, oh my God, a school shooting. What, 3 years ago, it was, oh my God, there was a school shooting. Are these children okay? It doesn't matter where. It's horrifying.
Right.
And now it's in the paper and it's like, oh, another shooting.
Mm-hmm.
We've been indoctrinated. It doesn't shock us anymore, and that's sad. And it doesn't make us ask, hey, why do we accept this?
Right.
So speaking of gonna push the envelope, you are being directed by Marty Goebel, who is mind-blowing. She is mind-blowing. So what's it like? What's it like?
I love Marty. I've loved Marty my entire life. We can talk about that later. But it's amazing. Being fresh out of college, I got this offer. David texts me. He's like, hey, or not text me, emails me. We're not that close. Like, hey, I got this show. Very formal, more formal than that. And I, flip my top because I'm not even graduated yet. And I see Marty, and she's directed me before. She taught at Marquette, so I've been in her class. And I was just like so ecstatic, and I read the play, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my voice. And then we get into rehearsals, and it's great for like the first day, and then she just gets in on you, and it's like being someone that's so fresh from college. At first it's very intimidating. She's the goat of Milwaukee theater, in my eyes, and also being someone that likes to direct. I'm like watching her every move, like, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? She wants me to move in circles. I don't understand, but I trust her with everything because I know everything that she touches turns into gold. And just I'm so blessed to have worked with her and all of the other. I was the youngest one in the entire room. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, working with her, it just felt like, wow, like there's no other person really my age that is having this opportunity. She really wants to push everyone into what she says excellence. She wants to push us as hard as we can. There's this one, I think it was our last rehearsal, we're filming, and there's one scene where I'm just going off, and I thought I had it down because I just had the lyrics. I had the lines, and I'm like, oh, you're so great. You got the lines. And she's like, all right, I'm about to literally drill you, and it might hurt. And it was like 30 minutes of pain of her being like, stop and do it like this, and stop and do it like this. But I think she has a creative direction that she automatically sees, and then she's going to go for it, and nobody else can tell her anything. And it works every time. It works. So, I miss her in the Milwaukee theater scene, and, and being here and the influence that she has from Milwaukee, because she's a go-getter and she does everything that she wants to do. So I'm just happy.
She's earned it all. She's put in the time. Yeah. There are reasons why the things that she touches turn to gold. Well, you know what? Nobody is 100%, but that's one of the things that you're going to learn from her too, is because
Yeah.
she has those years and depth of experience, but she's really introspective.
Hmm.
She is taking all of it in and she's processing it and she's going,
Yeah.
but she's not just taking it at surface. That she's
And
not
she
just
doesn't think she's
saying,
perfect at all. She'll
yeah,
say, "Yeah, I gave you that direction. It was
yeah,
stupid
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff." Like,
Oh yeah.
and it's yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I just love working with somebody that can be so humble, but also know like I'm the stuff. Okay, so
Here, she knows. Mm-hmm.
yeah, she knows. I would wish to be half the woman she is. She's amazing. I love her.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good role model. Well,
Every interview, they're like, "Who's your role model?" I'm like, "Marty Goebel." Who else?
there.
Besides Beyonce?
Right. Now, depth, accessibility. She has to see something in you. There's something about you
Yeah,
because she's not going to waste your time.
yeah,
You know? Yeah.
she's
So,
not.
she's not going to waste your time. So, there's something there. And yeah, what do you want to do with it? Where do you want to take this something that you're
Ooh.
discovering and that Marty may see, but you got to discover it yourself. She's not going to tell you. She's not going to hand it to
I'm
you.
I've always been really into acting, but recently the playwriting thing has worked. I hate
Yeah.
to say it like that, but
Mhm.
sometimes I
Well,
do write things
the
on my
Young
whim.
Playwrights Festival, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I did the
And
Young Playwrights Festival in 26.
Flora!
Flora!
I cannot believe I've been trying for a half hour to meet you. I swear. I finally got some help from Jamie Lynn, who is exercised unbelievable patience. Good morning. I'm so sorry. It's
Good
just
morning,
No, it's
Flora.
okay.
I'm
So
I'm
happy
not
to see your
computer
face.
friendly at all.
Well, everybody's friendly with you, though.
Oh, right.
So, I'm sure in the big world energy thing that makes up for it, right? Well, that's okay. It's okay.
Have you all been having a good time?
I've been getting a chance to get to know Malaina and talk about things.
Well worth it.
And stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
We were just getting into Malaina's forays into some playwriting herself. Yeah.
okay.
I want to hear more.
I
Okay,
do
very
too.
quickly, 'cause we need to hear from Flora.
We will. No, we will. Yeah.
I wrote a play for Milwaukee Chamber Theater my junior year of high school, and and then because it's biannual, and then it was chosen for the 2016 year. So when I first went into college, that was like the thing. It was like one of the main stages. So they have readings and they have main stages. So it was really nice to see kind of what I wrote being fleshed out with money and people who had props and the characters I needed, and it was just really cool the first time. And then I'm my sophomore junior year of college. Now I'm getting pushed in my class, oh, you should write another play so we can do it and for our exam. And so I did it, and the department really liked it, so we ended up doing it for the main stage 3 times. And there was a line outside. Anyways, and then we went to KCACTF, which was so fun. But I'd never thought, I'm gonna write something in college and then it's gonna get,
I just want to
somebody.
know what was it about? What was your play in college about?
It was called White Privilege, so it was about. It was it was sparked from me and my background going to Rufus King and then going to Marquette and being like, this is very weird, and white people live a very different life than I do. It was the first time in my life that I had actually realized, like, that people had so many privileges. So it just went through what white privilege means for people, like culturally, so with cultural appropriation, gentrification, and then systemically with like the police, education systems, things like that. And yeah, I plan to write more in the future, but doing something like that, eventually you want to put it down and focus on, the acting side, because acting is really nice because you don't have to write it and then listen to people say it at all.
Nice, well-rounded though, and at a place where you've got the energy and enthusiasm to do something about it, and it's So it kind of comes back to what you were talking about with your character in this play, how you and she are really, really simpatico, that you've got some similar views and things like that. And it sounds like with the spectrum of different perspectives in this play, that's probably something that some of the other actors may have experienced, which is kind of, so I'm opening that up. So, hey, Flora.
Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know, it's been a little long.
I saw Malaina last night at the talkback. That was nice.
Oh, there you go.
She was late for that, so that's good.
Oh, all right, some payback. Okay, all right, now we go.
Kidding.
Little insight into Flora Coker.
Malaina knows me now, so
she only seems all nice and mild on the outside. On the inside, she's a demon. So, tell us about your demonic character.
I know. Yeah.
Principal.
Well, yeah, I could not have possibly had more fun. It was a perfect role. I thought, proudly crusty is good. Swears a good streak is good. Helpful. Gets a lot out. I loved every minute of it. I thought it was great. I loved Marty, and got to love everybody in the cast. I thought of just a wonderful time. She's about to retire. This will be her 33rd year as a teacher in this South Side Chicago high school. It's not clear exactly how it is she lasted that long, but she did, and doesn't seem to have much of a life outside. She just looks forward to her retirement pension check, and sitting down and watching Ellen every day is how she says what she's going to do. She's so tired, I suppose. But she also seems to have been a very, very good teacher. Didn't get killed by the students or the administration, and seems to have loved it and made a big difference to her life. Whatever else her life is, doesn't seem to be much else going on outside for her.
Yeah.
It's all devoted to teaching, which you can imagine if you taught in that high school, it might have to be in order to be able to do it. You can't. I have never been a teacher, so I
was wondering because every actor is like a substitute teacher at some point in time. So Malaina.
I taught a couple of individuals here and there over the years, but never a classroom. Well, actually, that's not true. I had a middle school class on Saturday mornings for a while. That was a trial. And I realized that if I was not incredibly prepared when I went in, I was trampled. But if I had a plan and had some confidence that my plan was a good one and this is what we're going to do today, it made a huge difference. So you had to work at it. It wasn't just a snap, a breeze by any means. High school children are difficult.
Absolutely. So that sounds like we were talking to Malaina and I were talking about mentorship, and so many of the lessons and things that she is learning from Marty, and from just some of the life experiences. And again, sounds like the play mirrors some of those really vital mentorships, whether somebody sets out to do it or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So what do you think that Malaina and back and forth, what do you think your characters are getting from each other as educators on two different ends of the spectrum?
Our characters are like tight, I think.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. We are I'm young in the face, but I'm feisty. And I think Denise is also feisty, and I think we play off of each other a lot. I definitely
we roll eyes at each other a lot.
we do. We look at each other. Yeah, that was our thing. But I think definitely Denise's character or Flora's character is someone that I looked up to, and that I, she's seasoned, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. Just like in real life. But
good idea.
yeah, no, they definitely, their relationship is, of all the other characters, more familial, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, I agree. She just is somebody that I admire. I mean, I like her approach. I like she has a, what I object to in Kay, particularly in this case, is that she keeps bouncing around. She doesn't know what it is she wants to teach, doesn't know how to do it. And instead of just calmly, spending her first year sort of beginning to learn, she jumps from thing to thing, and it makes me crazy. Makes my character crazy. She hasn't decided on something. And even when she stands on the table and decides on something, that itself is, oh yeah, you just choosing something else that sounds right at the moment. Something like that. I'm not sure, but Shelley doesn't do that. Shelley is doing what she believes, and that makes a difference. I think that my character thinks, and that's what I think too, really.
Yeah. I'm checking the time, just making sure we're good. Yeah. We're still good. We're still good.
Yeah.
So, we, at the beginning, of course, we want to position what it is that you're doing. So, Flora, in a nutshell, what do you think? What is this play about? I mean, without giving away the thing, without giving away the thing.
I'll try not to give it away. Well, the writer was a teacher.
Yeah.
So presumably he is writing about something that he experienced, and something he only lasted 7 years, I think he said. He just couldn't.
That's a long time on the south side of Chicago.
So he's just writing about his experience of being a teacher and the dealing with maybe a change. I don't know when the tests started, how many years the tests have been.
I don't know, the standardized tests. Malaina, have they always been there? Because
from what he said last night, it was something like, because the Cornell review is what we talk about. It was called the Princeton review.
Yeah.
Standardized tests have been around since I was maybe in the 4th or 5th grade.
Okay, all right.
From what I remember.
It has been around a while. Well, so that particular issue was of interest to him, and it is to me too. Of course, nowadays the school talked about every day in the news over and over, but it all has to do with the pandemic and going to school and not going to school and who's safe and who's not. Yeah. So the standardized test is sort of old news, but it isn't. It's still happening, and teachers are still struggling with it. And so just about high school education is what this play is about, and the what's good about it and what's truly awful about it, and how it is that children maybe or maybe not getting left behind. It's very an interesting question. I don't have any children in school, so I've never had to truly confront it and go into the school and start yelling like Marty says she did.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in what's happening with children. I like children and want them to
well, we were talking about how the stakes are really, really high.
Yeah.
What's going on right now at the kinds of issues that the teachers are facing in all the different decisions that you individually right on the front line have got to make.
Yeah.
On how you approach it, on whether you care.
Whether you can't stand it and you got to get out of here. Yeah, it is true. It must be hard for teachers. And I've talked with some teachers who they had experience of other teachers kind of calling them out. Everybody's trying to keep their job too in a certain kind of way, but also stick to their principles. I don't know. It's very complicated, and not get paid enough in the process.
Right. That's right. Absolutely.
So I hear. Yeah.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah. One teacher I was talking to, could you mention the No Child Left Behind principle, the rule? And she said, yeah, all the teachers call it No Child Left Behind and No Teacher Left Standing.
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
Hard, but
hard to make happen, hard to hit those points.
Yeah.
The checkbox You know, do you care more about the checkbox, or do you care more about the content and actually making a difference in how these young people, how these children are not just absorbing the knowledge, but the process of absorbing the knowledge will inform how they function outside. You know, one really smart teacher I asked in high school, chemistry, why do I need to learn this? And he said, you may never ever use this again, but when you're an adult, you will be able to have conversation with other people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've absorbed some knowledge. Maybe we will, we will have some points in that we can actually talk about, and I can recall some of my experiences and just be able to talk to another human being intelligently. And so I'm like, those are some of the things that you need to be able to walk out with, but nobody.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. That's yeah. A good teachers, if you've had a good teacher in your life, you sure are lucky. If you've had a mentor, or even if you've had a string of, more than one, 2 or 3 really good teachers, it's a big deal.
It makes me think also what you guys were talking about, and what I've been reading about is all of there's an issue, but all of these teachers have different connections to it and different, fervent beliefs on how to approach it or what we want to accomplish and things like that. And that spectrum is so important. It's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Denise, my character, says at the end that she's reads this passage to honor Shelley, who she had the privilege to mentor, but she mentions Shelley's youthfulness and her willingness to learn herself and how much she loved the children. That, children understand that. They feel that makes a difference to them.
Mm-hmm. It does. You can tell. And those are your favorite teachers.
Yeah.
When you walk out, you can list them. I can still list them, and I'm very old.
I think I know the ones who loved me.
That was my favorite part about the character, was that she was that teacher. That everyone, and you could just tell, by even though like the way that I had to do my hair, I'm like, this is the cool teacher, that is going to teach you the things that, put you onto something that you didn't know before that you're really going to be interested in, that you're going to want to have those conversations about in the future. I think that was her aim,
Yeah.
Shelley does something great in this school, but she doesn't last, I guess. Terrible thing.
I got to get my ticket. I don't watch. But the selling point for me to at the very beginning is Marty was into it.
Yeah.
Who I'm gonna, that's going to make me sit up and go, okay, there's something there. There's something important.
That is a fact. That's me too. I didn't. And David asked me. I hadn't even read the play. I said, "You and Marty? Are you kidding? I'm in."
Right. No kidding. No kidding. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. We were lucky.
In fact, I said to David, "Hell yeah, I'm in."
I had the same reaction because David was on board to direct Romeo and Juliet for us for Shakespeare in the Park this last summer, which, we didn't do because nobody did anything. Closed the playhouses. But I was like, oh my God! I've died! I don't want to ask him why, because if he thinks about it, maybe he'll realize.
That would be great. I hope it'll come back. that opportunity. What happened? Has your was it Coriolanus? What was your?
We did Pericles.
Pericles.
We did Pericles. Yeah, we serialized it into 16 segments. So
was it ever online?
We're broadcasting, so we're doing a live stream. So just like everybody, we're learning about film, and those days, happily, I had film experience because you and I, Flora, we've worked on some films together too. So yeah. And so we took Pericles, Prince of Tyre, because Shakespeare's our widget, and turned it into 16 segments so that we could film it in tiny bits. So we would have a full day outdoors because we do outside.
Yeah.
So it was healthy, it was safe, we could keep separate, and it was awesome. It was cool. It was really cool, but it's long and it's hard. But we have started broadcasting. Every other week we'll do 2 episodes with a live host. So the live host is like, hey, tonight on Pericles, and chit chat, answer some questions, talk a little bit about. So we kind of throw in the talk forward and talk back at the same time. And
how does one see these? I don't. For some reason, I haven't gotten anything about I got something about the fact that it was happening, but I did not get anything about the fact that I could hook in.
Yeah. Unless you're really watching Facebook or social media, because it's a live stream on. We simulcast on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live, and then it lives on YouTube, so people can go back and watch.
Oh, look.
But most people, when it's a web series or a film, something like this, you're going to get maybe 3% of your viewership will tune in when it's happening. Yeah. They'll go back and watch it later because that's our culture. That's what we do, you know?
Yeah, we just...
So not being there when it happens, that's okay. You know, it's cool. Thank you if you do, but you're still going to catch it.
Good. Now I know how to. Good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. And Jamie Lynn has links on the Milwaukee Theater Alliance website. So yes, you can find it.
Are you going to open next summer, you think?
You know what? We're going to try. We're going to try. I suspect that because we're outdoors, Shakespeare in the Park, because we're outside.
Yeah.
And our dates are kind of flexible.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot else going on in the summer. So
yeah, maybe
we might be, and I don't mean this is going to sound weird, but we might be the first live theater that comes back to Milwaukee because we're outside and we can do
that space is huge. You could spread people out.
You can. We do it on the grounds of the Marcus Performing Arts Center. There's that outdoor pavilion. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I like it.
The grounds are huge. We could just spread out.
Yeah, you could.
Definitely could.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you do. I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I like that event.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And who knows? Who knows what we'll do? I don't know. I'm thinking about all kinds of weird things. I talked to David because, you want to check and see if he's still into it, things like that, and hope that I'm not talking him out of it. And he's like, oh, yeah, my schedule, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh. And but I talked to him about some of my weird, whacked out ideas, and he's like, I've never done anything like that before. So I'm like, all right, it's time to experiment.
He's great to talk to about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. How involved was he with, Marty was there. It's not like you needed somebody else's vision, but he is brilliant. And he designed your sound because, of course, that's his background, one of his expertise.
Yeah, expertise.
Yeah.
Around much, though, was he, Malaina?
We would see him pop in and out of the office. He'd give us our check stubs. He'd say hi. Like he was there. He was there, but it definitely
he and Marty talked a lot.
Yeah.
He'd come and watch and talk with her for an hour afterwards. Mm-hmm. 2 or 3 times at least, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
He was there during tech because he was figuring out sound. It was Marty's son who wrote the music, and it's just wonderful music.
He composed it all. It
oh, nice. Yeah, well, Marty's family is like musical, like deeply musical.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not just like, I like music. They make music happen.
He makes music. He was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know we're at 40. We're at 40 minutes. I know, but
I know. Well, I came in 20 minutes late, so I do apologize.
Well, it's a fascinating topic.
Yeah.
And just in general. Hi, Jamie Lynn. Can't hear you. So
Chamberlain,
let's go talk.
I was trying to give you all time to have like the full conversation that
Thank
we needed to have after I got Flora in the room.
Yes, thank you. I've learned a lot today. Thank you.
Hey, you know, I'm all about teaching the generations on how to use StreamYard.
Yeah, good. Good.
It's what I was made for. This is where I was just saying to Susan and Malaina before we started, I live in the internets now.
Mhm. Yeah.
I live here now. So I'm really excited about this piece too. So I wasn't able to get a hold of it last week. So but I'm really interested in what you all are doing with this piece. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been able to back out of this tech before, at the bottom of your screen there should be a big red X on your
there it is. Yeah.
Leave studio.
There it is.
You got it, Flora.
Malaina's like,
get out.
Oh my God.
I know Malaina knows everything, but sometimes
Not everything.
I just gotta cover the bases. But yes, so everybody should be able to go to nextact.org.
Mm-hmm. It's right there.
And
I'm
find
looking at it. Mm-hmm. Very easy.
Principal.
Good. Hope you come. Hope you enjoy it. It's fun. It's wonderful, really.
Good. I'd like to do something fun. Let's do something fun. Let's
Fun.
tune into this show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan. It's very nice to see you, and you're
You
doing
too.
well.
You too. Yeah. Yeah. You too. Let's do some work together. Let's all do some work together. I would love that.
Theater.
I can't wait for live things to come back.
I know, that's a fact.
We're doing things.
We work in a very quiet room, except for Marty was really helpful until we did the film, and then she couldn't be giggling as she had been doing for a long time. And we worked in complete silence. Wasn't that hard, Malaina? Remember?
It was
That
so
was
bad.
The interesting thing is we took off our masks just for the
Right.
film. We had been together for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we took off our mask to film, and that was the strangest thing. We just burst into laughter. We hadn't seen
Like,
each
oh
other.
my gosh, you have a mouth. It's so
Mel's
That's what
nose.
you look like.
You got a nose.
Oh, you're
That's how
cute.
you look. It's like, oh my God.
You're much cuter than I thought. Yeah.
Oh.
Does anybody else watch TV now and get thrown off by people not wearing masks?
Yeah.
You're like, you're outside. Where's your mask?
Right.
Like, what's going on?
I check when it was filmed now. It's like, what day and year?
Yeah.
Because I am judging you. Sorry.
All right, you. So we have to get on to talk about other events going on in the community. So I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much. Great to see you, Anna. And be well out there.
Yeah, you all too. Everybody.
Keep doing good work.
Enjoy it.
Bye. I'm signing off.
No, I'm holding you hostage until.
It's always one of the nice things afterwards, is to, the debrief.
Well, here, let me.
Are you playing the thing?
Am I echoing? Is that me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have too many people in the room or something like that. No, I just want to run through these other events going on. And if you know anything else, please let me know. But I just wanted you to sort of sew up the end of these events with Pericles and talk about that for a second longer. So let me get this thingy here. Let me find my. These are other events from Milwaukee Theater Alliance companies. Village Playhouse is presenting Salome by Oscar Wilde right now. They opened last week, so there's only 2 other shows, and I think everything that I have is virtual events. They're submitting this. There's this festival called the American Association of Community Theater. They have a festival that goes on every 2 years or something like that. And so this is their submission to that. So you can watch it and give your feedback and things like that before they submit that for the festival.
Submit.
Tonight, Skylight has this is a 2-night thing as well. This is a brand new musical called Fortunate Sons. It's features music and lyrics by Paul Williams and a book by Eric Cohen and Mark Madnick. Tickets are free but extremely limited, so you can go to skylightmusictheatre.org for that. Yeah, hey.
MOT.
Yeah, MOT has their newest iteration of their distance commissions, all brand new work. The new work that's coming out right now in the Milwaukee community is so awesome. So get yourself out there and see some things. This is The Sound by Sista Strings, who is a local violoncello duo of Monique and Shantae Ross. If you go to MOT's Milwaukee Opera Theater's Facebook page, they've got a YouTube trailer and all this kind of just cool shit going on. So you can go to MilwaukeeOperaTheatre.org for that. Pink Umbrella has a ton of stuff going on. Katie Cummings is just kicking out so much stuff. They've got a reading on Sunday, Purim Spiel, which is their collaboration with a bunch of organizations around the community here. Also free, but you have to register. So go to Pink Umbrella
Theater, yes.
.org for that. And then we have Somebody's Fancy.
There's a thing. Yeah, we've started broadcasting. So No Holds Barred is the kind of the umbrella. That's not pink, but that's been done. It's been done too well. So why? Yeah, don't go there.
This is the Shakespeare umbrella, right?
This is the Shakespeare umbrella for the film project. So we serialized Pericles, Prince of Tyre, because it's a poopy kind of play. But it's still Shakespeare, but nobody cares. So we can mess with it. And so we did a little bit. We broke it up into 16 segments. And they're all done. They're all filmed. We're editing like crazy. And we broadcast 2 episodes every other week with a live host. So it's like, previously on Pericles, live from my living room or wherever, and play the episodes. And then we're going to chit-chat, and we chat, and people, it simulcasts on Facebook and on YouTube, and then they live on YouTube like everybody lives on YouTube afterwards. But noholdsbarred.org will get you to it. Yeah. So don't worry about finding the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, because that's always hard to negotiate. Just go to noholdsbarred, noholdsbard.org, because .com is a podcast, which is a really funny podcast. But anyway, you don't lose.
when I get URLs now for things, I get the org and the com, just because I know that people will be.
Yeah.
Only if you're super nerdy do you really recognize all the ends of things that there's .com, there's .org, there's .net, there's .edu, and now they're even getting, because the internet is so large. Now there's all like specialized endings of things. It's just, unless you're a nerd like me. But yours is noholdsbarred.org. And then of course there's the next act. principal that we just talked about, and then Milwaukee Chamber Theater, who was on a couple episodes ago, their Young Playwrights Festival that Malaina was talking about, that she did a few years back. Malaina actually directed our Eliza on the Ice under construction reading at the Constructivist. So I've said she's on fire. She's really like super talented, and not that Flora isn't either, but
Flora's like here on the echelon of, you know. Flora's so there, she doesn't even have to pretend to not be there.
You don't know Malaina, you do now. Like she's just popping up everywhere. Just super talented. And so, but Milwaukee Chamber Theater has their Playwrights Festival going on. This is all internet watchable content. That being said, everybody, please wear your masks. Please wear your masks. Please, if you have the ability to make this pandemic end sooner, let's all do our part so that we can all get back in the same room and see live theater again, and live music and dance and all of it. But you can see all links to all Theater Alliance companies at Milwaukee Theatre Alliance.org.
Because you're a nerd.
Nerd! Nerd!
I am nerd.
I am nerd. I'm sexy nerd. I'm super hot nerd.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I'm here.
Been watching a lot of Marvel lately. I have been, and so if you want to also see super hot nerds, that is the place to find it. Also in live theater in Milwaukee, you can find super hot nerds. Thank you again for hosting, Susan. I love that you are my backup when we need it.
Happy to.
Thank you all for watching out there. We will be here next week. We might have to try and get Flora to host. now that I've taught her how to use StreamYard, I gotta see if she can host. I think Malaina would be a great host as well.
I think so too.
So I got to talk to them about hosting next week. But if not, I've got a Susan.
Sure. Yeah. Everybody should have one. I want one.
You have a Susan. You just have to look in the mirror.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
you all so much out there.
Bye. I'm gonna hit leave studio and go do some stuff because I've got a thing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play a thing first. Bye, everybody.
Mwah.